Desire is never polite. It doesn't follow the rules we think it should. It moves quietly, beneath the surface, dancing in the spaces between words, in a look that lingers too long, in laughter that trembles with something unspoken. When a woman desires, she doesn't always say it. She shows it, in the most intricate and delicate ways. Yet most men never see it. They're looking for fireworks when what she offers is firelight, subtle, glowing, alive. The unspoken language of desire is one of the most mysterious and misunderstood aspects of human connection. When a woman feels drawn to someone, she rarely announces it with words. Instead, she communicates through the subtle rhythm of her body, the softness of her tone, the energy that shifts in her presence. This unspoken language isn't about manipulation or pretense, it's about emotion finding expression through gestures too delicate to name. A fleeting touch on the arm, the way her eyes hold your gaze a second longer than necessary, or the way she unconsciously mirrors your movements, these are not random acts. They are signals, quiet but powerful, that reveal her attraction before she has even acknowledged it to herself. Understanding this language requires emotional intelligence, not just observation. Most men look for obvious signs, flirtatious smiles, bold compliments, or direct words, but true desire hides behind nuance. It's in the pause before she answers, the way her laughter deepens when you speak, or the subtle way she orients her body toward you even when others are around. Desire, for many women, is communicated through presence more than performance. She may not say "I want you," but her attention, her curiosity, and her openness say it for her. Culturally, women have often been taught to guard their desires, to make them acceptable, measured, or restrained. So, when desire does surface, it leaks out through micro-expressions, small acts of vulnerability that reveal longing beneath composure. This is why the unspoken language of desire feels both thrilling and fragile. It's a kind of emotional Morse code. If you're attuned, you can read it; if not, it passes unnoticed. What makes it so compelling is that it operates beyond logic. A woman might not consciously understand why she's drawn to one man over another, but her body speaks before her mind catches up. The beauty of this communication lies in its authenticity. There's no script, no rehearsed line, just instinct. And yet, it's this instinct that often gets overlooked because our modern world rewards the loudest expressions of interest. But real desire doesn't shout, it hums. It invites awareness, attentiveness, and patience. To truly perceive it, you have to slow down enough to feel the emotional undercurrent rather than chase the surface cues. This sensitivity not only reveals attraction but also honors it. It allows connection to unfold in a way that feels organic, intimate, and deeply human. When a woman feels seen in her subtle expressions, she doesn't need to hide her desire anymore, and that is when the unspoken becomes undeniable. The psychology of choice in female desire is a fascinating paradox, often defying logic and expectation. Attraction, especially for women, is rarely a straightforward equation of looks or status. It's a complex interplay of emotion, energy, and psychological resonance. A woman might admire one man's success, but feel an unexplainable pull toward another who makes her feel alive. This is because desire operates in the emotional realm, not the rational one. It's less about who makes the most sense on paper and more about who awakens something inside her that has been dormant. That awakening can come from a tone of voice, a certain confidence, or even a shared silence that feels charged with unspoken possibility. In relationships, women often make choices that appear stable and secure, yet their inner world craves connection, depth, and unpredictability. This dual nature of desire means that while she might choose someone safe, her heart can be drawn toward someone who stirs her soul. The psychology behind this rests on emotional contrast, the difference between what she needs and what she wants. Safety fulfills a logical need for stability, while passion feeds an emotional hunger for excitement. When these two worlds collide, confusion follows. She may remain with one man for practical reasons but find herself thinking about another because he evokes feelings she can't rationalize. What most people misunderstand is that this pull isn't about betrayal or immorality, it's about the human need to feel alive. Desire doesn't obey social contracts. It's not filtered through reason but through feeling. When a woman feels truly seen, emotionally engaged, or challenged in just the right way, her desire shifts toward the person who brings out that aliveness. It's an unconscious choice, her mind might resist it, but her emotions lean in. The chemistry that drives this isn't about physical attraction alone, it's about psychological energy. It's the way she feels when she's around him, unpredictable, curious, slightly off balance, yet completely present. This is why some men, who may not fit traditional standards of attraction, still inspire deep longing. They connect with her emotional rhythm rather than her checklist of expectations. They listen differently, speak differently, and create an emotional space where she feels both understood and intrigued. Her psychology responds to that presence more powerfully than to any logical trait. In the end, the psychology of choice in female desire isn't about who offers more, but about who makes her feel more. It's a dance between the mind's reasoning and the heart's rebellion, and in that tension lies the truth of her attraction. The duality of female longing exists in the quiet space between safety and excitement, between the comfort of what is known and the thrill of what could be. Every woman carries within her two opposing desires, the yearning for security and the hunger for passion. Safety provides grounding, a sense of predictability, and emotional stability, while excitement ignites her imagination, awakens her senses, and makes her feel alive. This internal tug-of-war often shapes her relationships more deeply than she admits. She may love the one who makes her feel secure, but desire the one who stirs her pulse. This isn't contradiction, it's human complexity. Desire doesn't thrive in safety, it needs risk, curiosity, and a touch of the unknown. Yet love often seeks the opposite: assurance, commitment, and peace. The challenge is that both forces are essential. Too much safety, and passion fades into routine. Too much excitement, and the foundation begins to crack. A woman constantly negotiates between these two worlds, even when she doesn't realize it. Her longing isn't divided because she's confused, it's divided because she's whole. The part of her that wants to build and the part of her that wants to feel are both valid. This tension doesn't mean she's unfaithful in spirit, it means she's alive. Every deep connection she forms is filtered through this internal dialogue. Can I feel safe here, and still feel alive? In many relationships, this duality gets suppressed. Society teaches women to value stability over passion, to choose predictability over desire, to find comfort in the known rather than explore what awakens them. But when she silences that inner spark for too long, it transforms into restlessness. She might find herself drawn toward moments that remind her of who she used to be: spontaneous, daring, curious. The attraction to another man might not even be about him. It might be about rediscovering a version of herself that has been buried under routine and responsibility. The desire she feels is as much about self-expression as it is about connection. The balance between safety and excitement is never fixed, it shifts with time, with experience, with emotional growth. A woman who once craved certainty may later crave freedom, and one who chased intensity may one day seek peace. Both are true. The duality of longing reminds us that human desire is fluid, never static. To understand it is to see that love and desire are not enemies but companions walking in opposite directions, each calling her toward a different kind of fulfillment. The art lies in learning how to honor both without losing herself in either. The hidden tension between love and lust is one of the deepest conflicts within female desire. Love seeks comfort, connection, and emotional safety, while lust thrives on mystery, novelty, and danger. Both are powerful forces, yet they rarely coexist easily. For many women, this tension becomes a quiet struggle, a longing for passion within the boundaries of love, and a yearning for love within the chaos of passion. Love asks for closeness, for merging, for the security of being known. Lust, on the other hand, asks for distance, for imagination, for the thrill of the unknown. When these two desires collide, a woman can feel both fulfilled and deprived at the same time. She may have love that feels safe but not thrilling, or desire that feels exciting but not sustainable. This inner conflict often shapes how women experience attraction. Lust is fueled by fantasy, by the spark of anticipation, by what hasn't yet been claimed. Love dissolves that distance, it replaces fantasy with familiarity. Yet it's precisely that familiarity that can slowly dim the fire of desire. The more she knows her partner, the less mystery remains, and desire begins to fade into affection. But affection, though beautiful, doesn't make her pulse quicken. The emotional mind wants stability, The erotic mind wants uncertainty. That is the paradox she must live with: the heart that wants to belong and the body that wants to roam. Many women silence this tension, fearing that it makes them disloyal or insatiable. But the truth is, this duality is part of human nature. The need for erotic vitality doesn't cancel the need for emotional connection, it simply speaks a different language. When she feels unseen, unappreciated, or emotionally disconnected, her longing for excitement intensifies. It's not always about another man, it's about reclaiming a feeling, a forgotten version of herself that once felt alive. Lust becomes a form of expression, a rebellion against emotional stagnation. Love asks her to be devoted, lust asks her to be free. Between the two, she is torn not because she lacks loyalty, but because she craves wholeness. What makes this tension so potent is that it cannot be fully resolved. It can only be understood and balanced. A woman who learns to acknowledge both her need for love and her hunger for desire begins to see that one does not have to destroy the other. The danger lies not in the existence of lust but in denying it. Because when denied, it doesn't disappear, it hides in dreams, in glances, in thoughts that whisper what words dare not say. And it is there, in that silence between love and longing, that her truest desires often live. The art of awareness is the ability to perceive what is not said, to sense the emotional undercurrents that flow beneath words and actions. When it comes to female desire, awareness becomes an act of emotional intelligence, a kind of deep listening that goes beyond logic. A woman rarely reveals her attraction through direct confession. Instead, it lives in subtleties, in the way her energy changes around you, in the way her attention lingers even when she tries to seem indifferent. To truly understand her, one must learn to observe not only what she expresses but what she suppresses. Awareness is about presence, about tuning into the silent dialogue of body language, tone, and emotion that often communicates more than speech ever could. In a world that celebrates noise and instant gratification, this kind of awareness is rare. Most people listen only to respond, not to understand. But desire cannot be understood through surface cues, it must be felt. When a man is aware, he doesn't chase, he notices. He senses when her guard softens, when her laughter carries a deeper meaning, when her eyes reveal what her words conceal. He doesn't pressure her to reveal herself, he gives her space to do so. Awareness is not about reading her mind, it's about respecting her rhythm. It's the patience to recognize that connection unfolds in silence as much as in conversation. The art of awareness also means understanding the emotional climate that shapes her behavior. Women often mask desire beneath politeness, friendship, or casual conversation because they fear being judged for wanting. But when someone perceives her without demanding explanation, she feels safe to let her truth surface. Awareness is that safety, it tells her she can be seen without being exposed. It turns interaction into intimacy. It transforms ordinary moments into something charged with meaning because she feels understood without having to explain herself. This sensitivity doesn't make someone weak or passive, it makes them perceptive. Awareness doesn't manipulate, it witnesses. It sees not only her words but the emotions they carry. When you understand the language of her pauses, her nervous smiles, or her deliberate stillness, you begin to hear the quiet music of her desire. Most people look for signals that scream, but the real ones whisper. Awareness allows you to catch those whispers before they fade. It allows connection to deepen organically, guided not by expectation but by intuition. Through awareness, you move from seeing her as someone to decode, to seeing her as someone to feel with. And in that space of understanding, desire becomes not a mystery to solve, but a presence to experience.